All right, it has been done. The 76ers have officially shut down Joel Embiid. Their statement says the 76ers and Joel Embiid have been consulting with top specialists regarding ongoing issues with his left knee. After further evaluation, it has been determined that he is medically unable to play, will miss the remainder of the season to focus on treatment and rehabilitation. Oh boy, they're working with medical experts to determine the
Brother,
next plan.
it's not even just medical experts. They might as well call out, we've tried going to Stonehenge, voodoo, witch doctors, everything. One of the things that they were talking about doing that was on the table is osteopathy, if I remember right.
Yeah.
It's where they break your hip and reset your hip in a certain position to relieve pressure on the outside of your knee. I'm like, yes, breaking the hip of your 7'2", 350-pound big man certainly seems like a course of action you could take.
You could take it.
You're gonna purposefully break that man's hip?
You
Are you out of your freaking mind?
could. Theoretically, you could.
But we all knew, like, if you didn't know this was coming, I've got many bridges to sell you. You can look at when the press release came out. It was at 1:00 on the dot from the Philadelphia 76ers.
4:00 Eastern.
On a Friday afternoon.
Friday news dump, folks.
I mean, this has been forecasted for weeks.
Are we looking at Bill Walton 2.0? A man who
MVP season
at his height
Yeah.
was the most dominant big in the league. MVP Bill Walton had to reshape the way that he played.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a little bit different in that Walton was still very injury prone,
Mm-hmm.
but his injuries started coming year 5 in the NBA.
Joel came in with him.
Joel missed the first 2 seasons of his career.
With a back and a foot.
But if you look at it, Joel Embiid has been in the NBA for 9 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
He has played 452 games. Bill Walton, in 10 seasons in the NBA, played 468 games.
Yeah. Very, 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 very similar.
You think of
the
that.
The thing about Bill, though, is Bill was nowhere near the size of Joel Embiid.
No.
If you remember young Joel Embiid, he was much smaller. The sheer mass. Go look at Joel Embiid at Kansas. It looks like a different human. He has probably put 150 pounds on. And I'm not even kidding. He's probably put 150 pounds on since he came into the league.
That's crazy.
And don't get me wrong, he's got a little bit of weight on him in the sense of like maybe a little excess bounce, but he is built like a truck. Like when I talk about Donovan being one of the pure like mountains in the NBA, Embiid's bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Just sheer mass. Like when you stand next, every time Joel Embiid has come to Portland and I've just kind of stood next to him or like walked past him, I just kind of shake my head. It's like, oh my God, this man is enormous.
So in taking into Embiid's career, since he missed the first 2 years of his career, remember he was Rookie of the Year. He took 3rd in the Rookie of the Year voting in year 3 of him being in the league, because essentially his rookie year did not start until he actually played a game in the NBA. So he's actually been in the league for 11 seasons. This is his 11th year in the NBA, but he only tolls for 9. So in 11 years, he's played 452 games. And for Walton, he was in the league for 10 years and played 468. So they are actually eerily similar with the way that their careers have gone.
And they're both MVPs.
They're both MVPs. But will we see a career for Joel Embiid where does he go the route of a Bill Walton where he's not reliable as the guy who you build your franchise around and you say we can rely on him? Because that's what Philly has done. Everything that they've built around has been building around Joel Embiid. And the fact that if he's healthy, we are a championship contender. The back half of Bill Walton's career, when he won 6th Man of the Year, and he was not nearly as productive or could move the way that he once did, he was a guy that would be a role player on a team. Do we ever see that? Because Embiid, the thing about the biggest difference is Bill Walton was just a guy that you didn't have to pay. Joel Embiid's going to be getting his money regardless.
Oh, yeah, it's guaranteed. He's going to be making $60+ million a year for the next 3 years.
That's an anchor.
4 years. Yeah, I mean it's there will be a team that talks themselves into it if they do opt out of that. There will be one team will, because I've mentioned this before. Joel Embiid, I've heard from multiple general managers over the years, came into the NBA with 3 legitimate red flags medically.
Mm-hmm.
One is usually enough to get you not knocked out of the draft, absolutely out of the first round. 2, you're out of the first round.
His talent was overwhelming.
That's the thing. Is like his talent was so overwhelming, it was insane. And I know I've mentioned this before too. If you told basically any general manager that if you took this guy 3rd overall and he would miss all the games he would miss, they'd still do it because the high end talent is just that dominant.
Dang.
Because his production last year in his MVP season, it was the most points per minute in NBA history.
Yep. He is in his career never played 70 games.
Mm-hmm. What is his max? 66?
68.
68. Okay.
He's played 68 once, 66, and that was 2021 and 2022-23. So that 21 season was the abbreviated season.
Yeah.
Anyways, so and that was the 66 game season was the year he won the MVP. Outside of those two, he would not have a single year in his career that he qualifies for any of the awards.
And they basically made that rule because of guys like him.
Yeah. Yeah, 65. And I think they looked at Embiid and said he played in 63, played in 64. Then he went 51. And then 51 was also a shortened season. But he just hasn't. The last couple of years, 39 games last year, 19 this year. That is not a good trend to see from the big man, because his body is failing him right now.
Yeah, and as far as like the comparison to Bill Walton, where even beyond the money, the thing that doesn't translate well for me is somebody brings it up on the text line. It's probably why he's suffering injuries, just because he is so big.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Oh, it is. And the difference is, like, Bill Walton was skinny, like, so he could still move. Joel is not anywhere near, like, he would have to probably lose 80 pounds for him to be remotely in that range.
Jeez.
Like, you can go look at all the NBA listings of weight. I'm telling you, they're lying through their teeth.
He's listed at 280.
He's not. He's 350 pounds. He's just not. It was like Shaq being listed at 315. He was 425 pounds. Like, when you see these, like, when you see Donovan Clingan, who's 290 pounds, and Joel Embiid looks like he's 2 of him from front to back. Yeah. It's not just how wide Joel is, because he's wide enormously. It's front to back. He's a refrigerator. It's just crazy. And you look at that guy and you go, if his body is that broken, and the reason those guys play that big is because they just lean on you and they wear you down. That's because that's how they're so successful. Nurk did it. Shaq did it. Those guys that are just that big, that's how they play, and there's just no way you can deal with him. But if he's going to be productive throughout the rest of his career, he's probably got to lose 80 pounds. Which is insane to think about.
But that was the knock on him at the beginning of his career, is that they said, dude, you will not, before he ever played a game in the NBA, they said, you have got to lose weight or you will get hurt.
Yeah.
And that has reigned true throughout the entirety of his career.
Yeah, he's just like,
that's too bad, man.
It is, because you're probably like, he's gonna have another knee surgery. Now, what it is,
yeah,
like, there's so many different paths they can take. I can tell you right now, the Sixers aren't going to be able to massage this one with talking about flaps of meniscuses.
No, this is way worse.
Way beyond that.
Look, it might be because of how they handled his injury last year is why he's in the position that he is this year.
The meniscectomy of trying to, like, play through it because they wanted to get him the MVP.
Yeah,
I mean, I get it.